Come on, man.
Hello. Oh, the last one. So guys, here's lunch. We got a sesame seed bagel, 4 bacon medallions, some cheese, tomatoes, mayo, and then on the side we got 3 Majil dates, cucumber hummus, and a nut bar, which is peanut butter and chocolate. Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome to the vlog. So it is Tuesday. I had my fight Saturday. Happy to report back to you that I won. Got a decision. I think 2 judges scored it 29-28, and then 1 judge gave me all 3 rounds 30-27. I haven't seen the scorecards, but I would presume the 2 judges that gave the dude the round was probably the first round. Obviously I haven't vlogged in a couple of weeks, so let's have a quick catch up. So training in August was going really well, and before I say the next bit, I just want to bear in mind that I'm just kind of trying to be open and honest. I'm not trying to make excuses for anything. Obviously I'm trying to let you guys in on like my thought processes and kind of just my like martial arts journey and stuff, so this is part of it. But I didn't really have the best camp, to be honest with you, for this fight. So found out about the fight at the end of June, right? And then, which obviously is a bit over 2 months because I fought September 1st. So I had July and August, all that time to train, which is perfect. But about probably 4 or 5 days after I found out about the fight, I hurt myself in training. I was rolling with someone, and basically I went to put in my far side hook, so they were in turtle, and normally you put in your near side hook. I went to put in my far side and they just rolled straight over my leg, so I ended up going to A&E, and I had like an ankle contusion. At first I thought it was something worse, to be honest, but I waited like 3 hours in A&E, and then the doctor just said, you don't have a broken leg, you're fine. So that took at least 5 weeks to heal, so I couldn't really grapple throughout any of July, so that wasn't ideal, and just kind of nursing that. And then August was going really well, was training really hard, and then the final hard week I did some rounds on Tuesday. That went great, like MMA rounds. And then the Wednesday, the next day, I was wrestling, I got taken down, and I just like nicked my knee. I don't know exactly what happened, but I got up. It didn't feel like great, but I knew it wasn't like anything bad. So I did 2 more like cage wrestling rounds. Was okay, and the next day it just like really stiffened up and got pretty horrible. So I didn't go to the doctor or anything, but I was like, oh man, like I had a week and a half till the fight. I was only going to be training hard till the Friday anyway, so I only had 2 more days, and then I was going to do a light weight cut week. But I was worried I was going to have to pull out. I didn't think about it, but I thought if I don't like do any anti-inflammatories, hopefully the swelling will help it heal, and then it will get a lot better quickly. So I just kind of babied my knee. I think it was just like a minor sprain, but I healed up good for the fight. I didn't really manage to get any grappling that week, so I just kind of did boxing, and then once it was good enough I started right kicking again. But I didn't really notice it in the fight, which was good. Still not ideal though, even in the warm-up. I couldn't use my teep. I couldn't really practice my left kick as much, and the guy was an orthodox fighter, so they're 2 like very good weapons, especially to maintain distance. But that's fighting in general. Everyone always gets injured. I always have something in the camp. This one I just happened to have kind of 2 bad ones, so it was just bad luck really. But got through it, and yeah, like I said, I'm not trying to make any excuses or anything. I just wanted to kind of be open with you guys. So the final weight cut week went well. It was all pretty much tactical stuff. Lots of MMA gloves used, a lot of footwork, and just really trying to get my eyes sharp. I was due to be weighing in on Friday, and the Thursday morning I was only like a kilo and a half overweight, so trained for a fair bit and didn't have to go in the bath or anything. Still got to eat, I just drank a bit less, and yeah, it was a good weight cut. I felt good weighing in. The venue was cool and stuff. It was kind of in a marquee outside, so we had to go down to Essex for that. But after I'd rehydrated and ate, I felt pretty bad. My head wasn't feeling good, so spent a lot of time just chilling out in bed. And then the next day, got a good night's sleep in and felt a lot better for the fight day. In terms of weight cut nutrition, I kept it pretty simple. Just got rid of a lot of carbs on the final day, but still had like a massive breakfast. And then I only had about 1.5 litres, 2 litres of water probably, and just cut that out for 24 hours because the weigh-ins was at 1, so I stopped drinking at 1 on the Thursday. I think what helped me a lot this time with my weight is because I wasn't working, I could train really hard, I could eat a bit more, I wasn't feeling tired at work. So that was really positive. And then after the weight cut, I made sure I kept my nutrition on point. I didn't really have any treats or anything, really tried to keep it professional. And same on fight day, so I didn't eat anything bad till Sunday, so that was really good. So moving on to the fight day, I just tried to keep it like a normal day, stayed nice and relaxed. I went for a walk in the morning just to kind of get my body going as I hadn't done anything on Friday. Got to the venue about 3 o'clock and we had to do medicals, had to get my hands wrapped, had to do a fighters parade, which was pretty cool, where you kind of are presented to the crowd. So at the weigh-ins the day before, you do like a face-off, but it's just the fighters there pretty much and like the staff for the event. And then at about 6 o'clock, the fight started at like 6:30 in the evening on the Saturday. We did the fighters parade where you kind of come out, you're like presented to the crowd. I think I showed it before when John headlined the card actually. And then you do another square off. So that's only a couple of hours before your fight. So my first time fighting on this show, obviously it's a new experience. I do know Brad who runs it and it was really good experience on the whole. They have a new cage as well. I think they introduced it at the last show. So this is the 6th Rock event, Rise of Champions. And the last 2 they've had a full-size cage. So that was really good to compete in. So moving on to the warm-up, we were in like a squash court. Got a good warm-up in and then kind of chilled like half an hour, 45 minutes, and got up every now and again to do some light sparring. And basically how we did it was we started off the grappling warm-up. So we did like wrestling and a bit of jiu-jitsu, then hit pads and then sparred, so we kind of worked our way up like that. I know I said this after my last fight as well, but it was definitely the most relaxed in the warm-up I've felt. Obviously you do have nerves, but what I normally do to try to deal with that is just really focus on my breathing. Like just before I walked out, you like have to wait behind the curtain, took 5 big deep breaths as my walkout song was playing, went out, got my Vaseline on my face from the cut man just before you enter the cage, took another deep breath, and then just go tunnel vision, focusing like when the horses have the blinkers on. So a bit of context just before I talk about the fight. Basically, the game plan was to keep it on the feet. So he was from 10th Planet, I believe a purple belt from London, very good grappler. I'd seen a few videos of him competing, but he was only 2-1 in MMA, but they'd been from like 7 years ago when he was like an independent fighter and he fought like heavyweight or something. So I had no footage on his striking. I hadn't seen him do any wrestling because the competitions I'd seen of him doing jiu-jitsu had pulled guard. So with my knee, I didn't really want to grapple. So in all the rounds at the gym, I just tried to keep it on the feet and use my striking. So the plan was keep it long, lots of straight shots and lots of kicks as well. I'd also thought if we do end up clinching near the cage, as I thought he may try and use the cage to take me down, as that's what people kind of normally do, as I'm pretty hard to take down in the open mat, then I would use it to reverse and then pin him on the cage and just try bully him a bit. But that's not exactly how it ended up going. All plans kind of have to change and adapt. So first round we came out on the feet and we started striking and I threw a leg kick and he responded with a body kick, but it was kind of on my hip, so it wasn't quite a leg kick, it wasn't quite a body kick, and it was just really easy to catch. So just kind of off instinct, even though I had planned to keep my distance, I just took him down off it, which I guess probably, I didn't ask what his game plan was, we had a little chat after, but I presume that was his game plan as he's a jiu-jitsu fighter. So I kind of played into that a bit, and the first round was definitely the one he gave me the most trouble with. I think of all the guys I've fought, he definitely had the best guard, specifically because he employs that 10th Planet style, so he used a lot of rubber guard. In the first round he threw up a nice omoplata, which I tried to roll out of and reverse, and he managed to get on top. I then swept back, and a lot of the round, you guys will see when the video comes out, I'll make sure to share it, was kind of pummeling in guard, trying to stay safe. But it was pretty much all on the ground after the initial kick catch. So that round ended. I wasn't sure how the judges were going to have scored it because I was on top a lot, but he was threatening off his back and he was trying to hit me too, so that round definitely could have gone either way. Second round started and he ended up pulling guard on me. We didn't really get any strikes off, but we were back on the floor again, so I've got my coaches in my corner, John and Amami, screaming at me to stand up. Luke Barnett was there as well. I could hear him shouting from the sidelines, giving some tips. They wanted me to stand up, but after the grappling in the first round, my arms were pretty full of lactic acid, so I kind of felt like I could survive on the ground against the guy, try and pass guard, and stay safe and land some ground and pound. I didn't really want to risk getting hit with anything wild on the feet, so in hindsight, maybe I should have stood up, but for me, I was on top, which normally means you're winning unless they're doing something drastic. And because he was going for a lot of submission attempts, I didn't really feel like he was going to sweep me and then smash past my guard or anything. So as long as I stayed smart in the guard, I thought I'd be alright. So I could feel him getting more tired, and at the end of the round, I managed to get mount and finish up on top. So that round was definitely mine, and I could kind of feel him breaking a bit. So the final round started and my coaches gave me some specific instructions what they thought he was open for on the feet. So I came out and we exchanged. I landed a nice left body kick, and then he kind of tied up, and I didn't really mean to be honest. Again, it was kind of off instinct, much like the kick catch, but I knee tapped him, knee picked him to the ground, so we ended up on the ground again. The guys wanted me up, but I felt a lot safer this time. And then it was kind of in a similar vein to the previous rounds where he was throwing up lots of 10th planet stuff like go-go platters, trying to Kimura, trying to triangle, and he had some really nice setups that I had to neutralise. Luckily I had John in my corner who trains at 10th planet when he's over in Las Vegas, so he knows a lot of the techniques. The guy went for a lot of leg locks as well, and obviously we trained a lot of leg locks too, so I was able to shut those down before they got into any deep positions. So then he managed to kind of kick off my hips, and he tried to do a technical stand-up, but I was still pretty close in standing up. So as soon as his knee was off the ground, we'd had a fighters meeting earlier in that day, so I kind of knew the rules about when the opponent counts as down when I can strike to the head. As soon as his knee was off the ground, I hit a nice head kick, backed him up to the cage, and then kind of technique went out the window for a second. I tried to just bazooka him with my right hand. And I just cage pushed him like I said I was going to do if we got near the cage. I hurt him with a good knee to the body and just tried to really break him on the cage. He was very tired, his corner was getting more desperate then. And we went back to the ground, I finished on top. He was still trying to threaten, but at this point I was getting a lot more better grips and shoulder pressure. And then I finished off trying to posture up right at the end and land some good shots. But so far I've only seen what one of the guys from the gym managed to record on their phone. So that's kind of from memory, and that's what I've seen in the videos, but he didn't manage to quite record the whole fight and it's not super clear. So I'll make sure to share the video with you guys once it's out. So yeah, that was pretty much the fight anyway, guys. I'd give it probably a 7 out of 10. It's kind of ironic really that he probably wanted it on the ground, especially considering he pulled guard in the second round, and 2 rounds of the 3 I took it there. But I feel comfortable. I'm a complete mixed martial artist, and I'm comfy everywhere. So it was good. I felt like I was definitely the more well-rounded fighter, but he presented some specific problems, and yeah, it was a great challenge. So catching up to the present day, Sunday I had off. I just went for a walk. No major injuries or anything. I didn't really get hit. He hit me a couple times up here off the ground, but no injuries thankfully. My knee held up fine, so that's all good. And I had a nice big cheat meal Sunday night. I'm a bit basic, but I had a Domino's and I felt very ill straight away the next day as well. I hadn't really thought about this, but my mum kind of linked the two. I had a breakout in spots straight away. That food is so bad for you, but it's been a long time, man. I was very good with my diet this whole camp. And yeah, I was back in the gym on Monday, yesterday. So did normal training yesterday, but I took it lighter. So for instance, in the day, I didn't do any grappling or anything. We just did boxing and boxing drills. And then in the evening, I did jiu-jitsu, but just drilled, didn't do any of the rolling or anything. So today I haven't been to the gym as my main training partner's ill, so I just did 10 rounds in my garage, shadow boxing and bag work, just more technique. It's nicer when you're not in camp. You don't have to try and kill yourself quite as much and just focus specifically on technique, so that's really good. And then I've been having a few car problems, so just checking oil and stuff like that. And then obviously I've had that lunch. So I'm going to chill out now. It is in the afternoon, it's close to 3 o'clock. And I will catch up with you guys at dinner. Okay people, so time to make dinner, but just thought I'd show you what I had as a snack. That is some dried banana slices. And then as well, I had one packet, try to reach it, these Walker's cheese and onion crisps. So I'm still doing like intermittent fasting, but it's not because I'm trying to do some secret fat burning or anything. I just find that putting like a restriction on myself, at least in the weekdays specifically, just helps me like manage calories basically. Not that I track calories, but just keeps everything under control, and it's been working really well for me weight wise, so still going with that. So here's the food. We got some pesto pasta with salmon and asparagus. Gonna have some parmesan cheese on top of that, some fruit for afterwards. We've got some strawberries and some blackberries, and then we've got a mixture of shortbread with caramel and some flapjack. And to keep me entertained, I'm gonna watch this episode of the 24/7 Canelo versus GGG2 for any boxing fans out there. So I'm going to get through that, guys, and I'll see you at the gym. So let's go to the first finish. So we've got our single leg X established here, controlling the knee line. Nice simple one is, so we're on our elbow. If I wanted to go for a heel hook or something, which we aren't doing today, you could drop down to your shoulder and kind of invert up on your shoulder. We're keeping it nice and basic. So what I'm going to do for this one is off this post is I'm going to reach my wrist around here. I'm going to come up, so his toes are in my armpit, but I can see the ankle. So a lot of people commonly go here and they don't use the sharp bit of their wrist and they don't put pressure on the foot like that, yeah? So you don't want to hide the ankle, you want to be able to see the ankle. So I'm going to have his toes in my armpit. I'm going to keep this pressure with my heel so Mike can't see into me. So for this one, you want to extend out. So I still keep control of the hips, but unlike the other ones, I don't have to be fully in because then it's going to be closer for them to come in and counter it. So the main thing is I can see the ankle, I get the sharp bit of my wrist, so I'm not going too deep. You could finish there, but what I'm going to do is the grip is kind of your preference, but I probably normally go like flat of my hand grip, and then I'm just going to arch my hips in and extend here. So this sharp bit is really digging into the Achilles, it's like an Achilles lock. So again, so we're here, all really easy. I'm just going to wrap my wrist under, slide back so I don't start too high, slide back, toes in the armpit, rotate as well my wrist a bit so it's not flat here, rotate so the sharp bit's going in, grab my hand, I'm doing that grip, but you can do whatever grip you want really. Keep your knees nice and tight as well so they can't clear the knee line, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my armpit back and I'm going to bridge in as well. So my wrist is going up, this is going back, so then it's just pressure on the ankle here. Yeah, one more time, so elbow, slide under. So if we were controlling there, this is where I'd move to there. If I'm not looking, because for this one, obviously we're attacking the Achilles, the ankle, whereas if you're going for like a heel hook or something, you'd be attacking the knee. So I slide under, back of the, flat of the hand grip's coming on already. Control the toes, that's the main point. See the ankle, extend, and then lift this back. Simple enough, yeah? Cool? 3, 2, 1. That's the main finish that I like. That's the go-to. That's the two-handed one. Now we can do a one-hander. Dave, if anyone's met Dave, Purple Belt Dave shows. So it's essentially the same thing. So we've got the same setup position. Yeah, we've isolated the leg with our knees. But now instead of gripping this one, sometimes they hand fight or whatever as well. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a one-arm finish. So I get this locked in straight away. Too many people are still going like this with their arm and cutting across. We want to cut up, straight up the back of the Achilles, yeah, not across like the whole calf. So we're here. All I'm going to do is, this one's a really good bridge. So I'm going to bring this hand back. I'm just going to arch straight back like this. Boom. So it's essentially the same movement, but instead of being able to crank here, you just arch. So this would be like my second option personally. So maybe I'm going for the finish, it's not working, he's trying to grab my arm, whatever. All I'm going to do is I keep the whole leg locked in place, that's very important. Keep the hips locked in, and I'm just going to arch, and bring this arm behind me. Yeah? So, one more time. So I'm set up here. Sometimes if you're struggling with the angle as well, maybe try bringing it straighter. Especially if you're not like fishing for a hill or something. You can kind of have a play about. What I was saying to one of the guys over there, is that if you start and you're low, and you're cranking, it's not working, you've got nowhere to go from here. So it's better to start high, and then you can go back into it to get the pressure. Yeah, so I've got this initial setup, just go to where you were before, try get the tap, and then if not, just, so this arm's going to come back, I'm going to bridge, lean back, and try get the tap there, yeah? So here, drop, so I can even drop my elbow in a bit as well, just to make sure I'm not like off balance, lean back, boom. And you can always kick and force. Oh, sorry. You can force like that, basically. I forget he's not like a grappling dummy. Right, so we're going to do the first escape. So they're pretty much the only two options I have to go for the finish. There probably are way more. I don't know. But they're my two anyway. So now we're going to do the escape. So Mike's going to grab it on me. We'll go through a few quick options. So first one is going to be, I'm going to try and clear this. So a lot of times though, if you can kind of mess about with your foot positioning, that will help too. But I'm going to focus on clearing this foot first. So I'm going to get this on the ground instead of my hip, yeah? So super simple this one. It's called like a sit over or something. So I'm going to pin that. I'm going to post on this outside foot. Post on this hand. Keep pinning this one so you can't re-put it, because if I clear it and then you wax it back up, no good. So clear it, I'm going to sit over, and then normally what will happen is, he might re-pummel for this leg, but because we're in an MMA class, let's assume he's going to come on top, so all I'm going to do is he's going to try and come on top, I'm going to pummel this leg in, and now I've at least got like a butterfly or a knee shield or something like that. So we'll go again, as it's MMA, not jiu-jitsu, so we're going to come, post, sit over, really simple one. He's going to come up, I'm going to bring this leg inside. Boom. Now I've got a butterfly or a knee shield. And I've got my frames as well. One more time. Super simple escape, but if you can catch this early, it's good. So I'm going to be here, release, post, come over the top. Once I've sat over, I'm pretty much safe, but Mike's going to want a good position, so he's going to come on top, and I'm just going to pummel however I want, and frame. Next one is simple too. So again, Mike's got me here. Now, if I can, I'm going to do that one again. But if not, this one's good as well for as we get more advanced and like you guys know and stuff, and a fair few people know here about like heel hooks. This one's a good one for heel hooks too. So I'm just going to look to clear my knee line. So while my knee is trapped, my leg is in danger, yeah? So say, if I can, ideally I'd do that one as well, but maybe I can't hop over for whatever reason. What I'm going to do is I'm going to point my toes. So if my foot is like an L, I'm going to block myself, yeah? Mike's going to hold on to my leg. So I'm going to turn my toes like this, nice and straight. I'm going to push here and start to clear my knee line. And then when I get enough room, I'm going to bring my foot in. And I'm just going to bring my hands back now, butt scoot back. Yeah, so another quick, simple one. So point my toes out, so I'm not trapping myself on my foot. Control here, start to clear my knee. As soon as there's enough room, get my foot in, both hands back. Kick straight out. One more time. So here, turn my foot. I can always try and hide my foot here. So another good thing is the more bend you have for this, not for heel hooks, but for straight ankle locks, the more bend you have in the leg, the harder it is for them to attack the finish for this one. So that's another good point. So I'm going to bend my toes, push, start clearing my knee. This one, hands back, scoot and kick. So kick and push at the same time. So again, those are kind of my main two options. This last one's more of like a lifeline. It does work, but if they're good at the legs, normally I wouldn't go for this on people that are good at legs or in a deep position, but yeah, it's a bit of a lifeline. So all we're going to do, say I can't get out, I can't extend that way, I'm going to come onto him. So I'm going to try and bend this leg. If I can triangle it even better or cross my feet or something, I'm going to hand fight. So the idea of Mike for this one is he's going to try and stretch me out with these, and he's going to try and get my ankle, or yeah, we're just going for the heel on that one. But he wants to extend me out. So if to stop him doing that, if I can't beat this or whatever, ideally I would beat that, but if I can't, I'm going to hand fight, and then he's going to have to go for the one arm, but he can't do the bridge now, yeah? Or, if I can as well, I'll reach the head. So you can go for the hands or the head. But what I want to do is get some bend in my leg. If I can, I'd triangle it. And then I'm just going to try and come on top like this. And then I'm in like a smash position, so I can just get his hips flat. Boom. But this one's more of like a concept rather than a technical escape, basically. So sometimes you'll get to here, they'll get tired like trying to yank on your ankle, and then you'll be able to hit one of the other two. So it's about like chaining everything together, yeah? So again, I'm going to fight, I'm going to try and curl this leg if possible. I don't want him extending me out with his heel, so I'm going to come up onto him. I'm going to hand fight, like the wrist or the elbow, not too high up the arm, but pretty much grab. This is more of like, it's not a desperation one if you hit it early, but if you hit it early, you might as well just go for the other ones and get your whole leg safe, basically. Because my leg is still isolated here, but I'm just stopping the finish, so I'm going to try and control the arm if I can, and then I would work to the head. Keep this one nice and bent for this one, and I'm just going to try and sit up into him and crush the hips, and they're going to want to let go here. Especially for MMA, if you can start punching them. Because remember, for MMA, anytime someone goes for a leg, normally they've got to commit 2 hands. Nothing protecting their face then, yeah? John will tell you that as well. So guys, back from the gym now. Obviously the class tonight was looking at the Achilles lock, the straight ankle lock. I wanted to show both offense and defense for that, so hopefully you guys pick something up. We haven't really done any leg locks in that beginner's fundamental class, but that's a good place to start. That's kind of where I started out. And then afterwards the guys just did some grappling rounds, but I was just coaching and I did some bodyweight exercises on the side too. Anyway guys, that's my day. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the fight updates, and I know it was probably a bit wordy, but I wanted to give you guys kind of a comprehensive breakdown of it all. Please like the video. If you've got any more questions, feel free to pop it down in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.